Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Oshiomole vs. Oshiomole, Part 3. In this edition, we are going to be looking at a video that came online mysteriously some days ago about the cabals meeting to fine-tune their infamous and criminal gang-up to frustrate democracy in Edo State by rigging the Edo Council election 2013, specifically the Esan Northeast local government, where elections has been done twice, and the very first one cancelled, all due to the desperation by the government in power to ensure that they impose their candidates on the people contrary to their wishes. John Yakubu of the PDP had won the 2 consecutive elections conducted, but the miracle of the century is that while that of April 24th was cancelled, the October 22nd was miraculously given to the APC candidate, Sam Oboh, who was in no way close to John Yakubu in the final vote counted. Now that we are talking spiritual, why the struggle for Mr. Yakubu to expose the injustice being perpetrated in the state and reclaim the mandate and trust reposed on him by his community is ongoing. Again, a video has miraculously surfaced on the internet about a meeting where cabals are perfecting plans to go to court and defend their shameful behavior and misdeed during the Esan Northeast Council election 2013. On the other hand, ladies and gentlemen, it was not just a meeting to perfect evil. There were some more shocking and damaging revelations on what actually happened on the day of the election and the role played by some important actors involved in the game. Mr. Sam Oboh did not waste time in telling us his impression of the election and his role in the violence that subsequently ensued the following day after the election.
Don't worry, I'll be declared.
So the local government officer cannot even declare.
We are so cosmetic about it. Therefore, that this local government is true. But the same local government we did governorship election, not to how many. This was an election conducted by federal INEC. They got 3 wards, we got 8 in an election which they conducted.
My dear Sam, because the people voted for Governor Oshiomole during the governorship election 2012 does not mean they will vote for you or any other person that is not their choice. This is called democratic right of the individuals and political maturity. All we can do is to respect the people's choice.
All the people, what they resort in is to actually, was the police presence not intimidating? That was the problem.
How can the police be intimidating when they were there to ensure peace and safety in the community? Except you have something to hide, I do not think you should be afraid. To the best of my knowledge, the people that were arrested had one thing or the other to do with electoral malpractices or violence on the day. Don't forget that during the governorship election you just referred to, they had 3,500 soldiers plus the police in the state, and they were hailed at the end. Because of their presence, there was no violence all over the state. They were not seen as intimidating then. Why is the situation now different?
I'm happy, like what the governor said. We are all happy that they are lamenting. At least they are crying in one state. We are crying Delta, we are crying in Oboh, we are crying in Kwara, we are crying in Kogi. So we cry in our own state. You know the matter now. It's not possible.
Be like landlord will not get room.
You understand my point now?
We rent your room. It's not getting room. Yeah, corridor.
Your justification for perpetrating evil on the people of Edo State, Mr. Sam Oboh, is rather unfortunate. Why I cannot speak on the situation in those states you mentioned? Because I do not have the facts, but I would have you know that Edo State, resulting from the outcome of the governorship election 2012, was now being regarded as the hope for democracy in the country. Governor Adams Oshiomole was seen as the embodiment of that democratic hope. To now turn around and take this position is heartbreaking and most disappointing, to say the least. It is even more heart-wrenching to know that the manhood the state has chosen in place of the democratically elected choice of the people to be the chairman of East and Northeast local government is the brain behind the violence and destruction that happened on October 23rd morning in Uromi, a day after the election.
When you people left, the following day, the day of my sorry, they gathered at Secretariat before I came. Yakubu, Ima, Godwa, all of them. One of them died yesterday. One of the PDP people that got injury. Yakubu ran, were running past through this. APC will finish their secretariat completely. Completely. We are back burning it down. We are here giving instruction. People who they are tired of those people. They are evil.
What is even more surprising is that the decision to visit violence on the people was taken and directed from the government house, the Edo State government house, ladies and gentlemen, with the full knowledge of government officials. The question now is, what is the governor's role in all this? We have seen high-powered officials of the governor's cabinet in this video. Was it the same thing the day directives were being given on the destruction and violence of the people of Uromi? It was definitely not Sam Oboh alone that was in that office when those instructions were being given. Who else was there? What has the revelation so far tell us about the man, Governor Adams Oshiomole? I will leave that for you, ladies and gentlemen, to think about until we come back with more highlights on the infamous meeting and part 4 of Oshiomole versus Oshiomole.